I'm Jenny and I'm studying abroad here in Paris, France for the year, and I'm here to just update you on how the semester's been going and what I'm excited about seeing in the future and just kind of getting acquainted here in Paris. So first, just starting out, I am so excited that I will have a second semester here because I'm finally understanding what just about I think every study abroad student says about how if you're staying somewhere for a semester and by the time that you have to leave, that's right when you're just getting very comfortable with the city that you're in, and I cannot agree with that anymore. I'm finally really comfortable where I am, and I will be changing apartments, which will be a little bit different, but I'll be staying in the same city, and I'm so excited for that opportunity. That's going to be a lot of fun to be able to just discover new things and really get comfortable where I am, find a good favorite cafe, and that kind of a thing. Going off of that too, getting acquainted in Paris can be difficult, but also one of the most exciting things you could do in your life. So I'm so excited to have this opportunity, and hopefully I'll be able to make it a little bit easier for you if you decide to come over to Paris as well. And these can also just apply for anywhere that you study abroad, really. My first tip for getting acquainted in the city that you're in is to just take some time for yourself often. At least once a week. It can be so busy just trying to run around and see every painting in the Louvre and visit every single Parisian monument. It's going to fill up your entire semester just exploring Paris. So I think it's very important to take some time and just sit down, and what I like to do is I'll come back to my apartment and I'll just cook up all different kinds of meals that I haven't made before. It's something really nice that I can just do for myself, take a minute to relax and really just kind of reflect on all of my experiences without trying to run around and do everything every single minute of the day. That can be something great. Also, going to see movies is a great idea too in Paris, specifically because French cinema is so important to the French culture. So I do have an example of some place that you can go is that there's a group in Paris here, and it's called Lost in Frenchliation, and their specific ability is that they bring French cinema to English-speaking expatriates and all of that and make it really accessible. So they take recent films that have been winning Cannes Film Fest awards or any kind of national French film award, and they put English subtitles to them. And then they show them in 2 different movie theaters. They show them in a movie theater by the Montmartre and also one right next to the Arc de Triomphe. So they're very cool neighborhoods to go explore, and there's student discounts. So that's every Friday night, and it's a great way to meet other people, other English-speaking people, other French-speaking people, and everything in between. So that's an example of something that I've been doing on some Friday nights, and it's just a really great opportunity to meet so many others. In addition to that, getting around Paris is so easy. The metro system here is so accessible because everything is so clearly labeled. You always know where you're going. You can just download those maps right onto your phone, and it's the simplest thing that I've had to use. Once you have your Navigo or Carte Imaginaire, then everything's going to be included. So no matter if you hop on a metro or a bus or a tram, all included in your pass. So it's very simple to get around, and you get used to it very quickly. It's very popular with tourists, and if tourists who are staying for only 3 days can get a handle of it by then, you definitely can within a semester or a year. In addition to that, there are some difficulties of getting adjusted into Paris, and it's just part of the excitement, really. Like, there's going to be difficulties getting adjusted anywhere you go, but it can be very difficult to get well acquainted into France if you don't know French. So I do recommend that you study some French before you come here. Of course, it's accessible, especially Paris, if you just speak English. It's not a problem in restaurants, in museums, absolutely everything is also available in English, so that's not a problem at all. But something that I have seen in my second part of the semester at ESCA is that a lot of my lectures are in French. So luckily for me, I've been studying French for a really long time, so I am able to keep up with those lectures and basically know what's going on. But for a lot of the tougher material, the professors like to default into French in order to help the French-speaking students more. Of course, the classes are supposed to be in English, but I do have to remember that we are in France, and French is the native language, so that's something that they do like to teach in a lot, obviously. This can be very difficult if you don't know French, especially like a higher level where you can follow a college course in French. So in that situation, I would really recommend that you just be persistent in what you need in order to succeed in this class. So don't be afraid to tell your professor, I need this information in English, because it's supposed to be supplied in English. So the least they can do is supply that. That has happened multiple times with ESCA. Just getting used to that kind of administration is pretty difficult. For example, I had to ask for my financial management textbook for about 8 weeks in a row to my professor, but I finally got it, and I got it before the final. So it's just something that you have to roll with, and you have to really like learn the differences between the French educational system and the US one. Something else I've encountered is that things like office hours don't exist for professors, so they can be very hard to get a hold of. So I do a lot of my studying outside of those resources and try to find them on my own. Of course, if you have concerns, talk to the study abroad department at ISU, but the grade conversion is there to help you. It's there to make sure that you are succeeding in these classes that you take, because they are taking into consideration that, yes, we can easily succeed in these American classes, but it's totally different when it's in a French system and there's not really a lot of information to go off of. Something that's helped me with it, though, is always making friends with French students in your classes, because they're way more adjusted into this than I ever will be at this point. So they help me so much in just knowing what the expectations are for courses and what I should be studying when, all of those types of things. Whenever there's a group project, I always love to be in a group of French students because it's just so much more helpful. It's hard when, for example, there is no rubric, but they're very used to what you need to do in order to succeed, and they'll be right there answering any of my questions. And of course, you can always be the English spell checker, so that's a role I've taken on, and it's very fun. And in addition to that, I just like to spend a lot of time with the French students as well. It really helps to improve your French, and it helps to get to know the different areas of Paris and go exploring and get their perspective on, oh, where should I go this weekend? Should I go to Corsica? Should I go to Italy? Should I go where? And especially Paris is so easy to take advantage of those opportunities. Travel's so simple from any of our airports. It's harder when you're in different areas of France because typically you'll travel into Paris and then wherever you're trying to go. So it's super easy how accessible everything is. Getting acquainted into Paris was not the easiest thing, but something I will always remember, and I'm trying to write down all of my experiences as I go, and I just hope that I can keep track of everything I'm able to do here. So if you have any questions, and hopefully this inspired you to look further into coming to France, stay in contact with the ISU Study Abroad Department and forward on any questions that you might have. So thanks so much for your time, and I will see you next time when the semester's over. So happy finals and Merry Christmas. A bientôt!